All right, we are going to talk about power in and palm wine will flow. And palm wine will flow. If they ask you that, show that and palm wine will flow is a play about the exhibition of power. This will need that you have to show how the phone exercises power at different levels. First of all, you have to understand that the elders had never wanted to enthrone the phone but for the insistence of Shi Ngong because the previous phone had asked him to do everything for that his son be enthroned. Immediately he's enthroned and he tastes power, he turns his back against the chief priest. He becomes very dictatorial and despotic. The phone had never been a popular choice of the people, and he does not use his power for the good of the masses. Rather, he uses the power that has been given to him for his personal gain. And he begins to abuse his power and subject the people to slavery, misery, and enslavement. Secondly, the fawn seizes the property of everyone who opposes him. Shengong refuses to attend to the summon at the palace to take part in the festivities of the giving of the red feather to Kibanya. He also defies the fawn's authority by criticizing the red feather that he gives on Kibanya in the most unorthodox manner. To pay back the chief priest for opposing his authority, the fawn decides to seize his farmlands and hand them over to Kibanya, who has now become part of his entourage. The fawn seizes his property, just in the same way that he seizes Gwei's father's farmlands and wives. And when Gwei's father goes to the palace to ask that his possessions be given back to him, he disappears. Later on, we understand that he is never seen again. And we learn that those who are taken to Epang are killed. Thirdly, the fawn has a council of elders that only exists in name because he rules the fandom of Iwawa in a one-man show. Whatever decision that he takes, he does not consult the opinion of the members of the council. The council of elders only validates the decisions taken by the fawn without questioning them. And this is one of the bone of contention that makes Shengong not to be happy with the manner in which the fawn rules the land. Next, the fawn also spends time in lavish merriment of drinking and getting drunk, and the chief priest describes him as a pig that only knows the hunger of its own stomach. He uses his position to reduce the fandom to a means of survival. He also thinks only of himself, his family members, and his bootlickers. There is a positive power incarnated by the women. Nevertheless, they use their power to expose the injustice to which the masses are subjected to by the fawn. The fawn uses them as sex objects when he seizes them from their husbands and carries them to the palace for his personal use. He also seizes their farmlands and humiliates their husband in public, like the manner in which Sangong had been tied to a kola nut tree and beaten to the point that he is unable to move. The women cannot stomach the recklessness of the fawn anymore, as they synergize to bring the reign of terror to an end. The women meet at the twin streams and they rally their potent power by urinating in the pot, and also empower Kwengong, who confronts the fawn on their behalf, to bring his reign to an end. They do not want to be ruled by a fawn or an individual anymore when the fawn dies. They want to be ruled by a college whose mandate can be terminated when they deem it necessary. In addition, they want everyone to have a say in decision making, and this is the only way in which they can guarantee social justice, freedom, and equality. Lastly, Shengong also has spiritual power as he is the custodian of the tradition of the people. His loyalty to the gods and ancestors of the land gives him their backing. He is confident to tell the fawn's messenger that the gorilla can do nothing to the Iroko tree. He is the only one who can openly challenge the fawn and draw his attention to the reckless manner in which he rules the land. The fawn is drunken by power to the point that he believes the gods are not existent and fake. He even calls Shengong as a self-made priest. When he does this, he no longer has to contend with Shengong, but with the gods and the ancestral spirits of the land. The chief priest calls on the spirits to render justice to the land, and they empower Kibaranko to invade the palace. In like manner, they empower the women to kill the fawn. And so, these two members are those who incarnate positive power in the play.